pounds of clay or something. And I'm leaving it thick for a reason. It'll show you to do something. We'll do something a little different for you. I'm gonna combine it with a couple stuff here. So first we'll center it. You want the clay to be shiny when you're centering it. If it's not shiny, you know, it's not going to slide through your hand very well. And especially when you do this little wheel wedge move where you bring the clay up into a cone, you'll just rip it right in half if it's not wet enough. So make sure the clay's kind of shiny when you're doing that. I'll show you real quick. People, when they're doing this, what they're doing is they're digging in with their bottom hand too much, and they get like this mushroom top kind of thing going. So to avoid that, don't dig under it. But if you do get like this big mushroom top thing going, you're just going to work that clay down. Just work the whole top of the mushroom down into the rest of it. So let's see if I can mess it up one more time to show you. So we start going like this. You know, and the cone shape will help keep you from getting that. But just work it down into it if you get that. And I'll show you how to do it the correct way. So we get this cone. So because it's, you know, narrower at the top and wider at the bottom, that'll help to prevent that. And then just work it all straight down without digging under it. Here, I'm missing one tool, but I'll get it when we need it.
What do you need?
My blue wood. I don't know what to show it. It's probably in that red box there. You see it? Oh no, wait, I have it. Never mind. Psych. All right, so
Is that this one?
I'll make the no, it's actually this one.
Oh,
You don't need that. I'm going to add a little something to the base, to the lidded vessel. So I'm going to make this thick kind of cylinder. I'm going to pull the walls up into a cylinder here. I mean, you can make this any shape you want. If you want to push out and make a big bulbous thing. I'm going to leave these walls real thick. And especially like if this is even a little off center when you're making this, it's okay. So nice thick walls. Nice. Squeeze it in so it's even thicker. So I mean, really, you can put the lid on any shape you want. I'm going to kind of show you something. So I'm going to cut away that, just kind of try to keep it more of a cylinder shape. I'm not going to need that clay on the bottom. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to give myself a little guideline here and a little guideline about there. And from there, I'm going to do one cut like so and remove some of that clay. And then go around and do a little cut here straight. It's basically like a stretched out spring from a ballpoint pen spring, sort of. This one away. These are some of my favorite things to make. I really like doing that. So here, yeah, you could leave it flat like that if you want, but I'm gonna just texture this up.
So you're not waiting for it to be leather?
Not for this, nah. Because I'm still throwing it, you need to have it a little wet. Now, you know, you can do any sort of thing. You can carve at it with a, you know, one of those serrated ribs we have over there. can really do any, you know, it's fun to just try different patterns and textures and see how they come out. Alright, so I mean, now from here you can press out with your hands, but I like using these stiffer, shorter ribs we have. You know, we've got some really soft, flexible ribs. I think for pushing out, it's better to use one of the stiffer ones. Let's just slow down a little bit. And I'm just gonna start to press out on it here. So you can see, it's not like, you know, normally we've been throwing these shapes, but this, I mean, yeah, we're still throwing it, but it really, you know, I'm not even touching the outside of it here. And you can just stop to see what that looks like there. So
you compressed it, right? In a way. You know,
yeah,
you
so I left the
compressed it
walls
down,
real thick for carving into it.
and then,
Yeah, and so here actually I expanded it more than compressed.
but then it went down.
Yeah, so because when it's tall, when you go out, it's gonna get shorter because the
Okay.
clay's not gonna, you know,
Gotcha. It's not gonna
yeah,
stay
as you
the
press
same.
out, yeah, the whole thing's gonna get a little
It
bit
just
shorter.
looks so rubbery in the process. I don't want to go whole.
And so here I'm just gonna kind of squeeze in a little bit on the neck. And then just before I finish it, let me, wherever I put that sponge, just gonna round off the top here. When you have like a flat edge, you know, it's kind of sharper, and that flat, sharp, you know, if it's more of like an edge like that, those tend to chip. So I'd like to always just get it kind of round. Let's see, so here, that's pretty much done. I'm happy with it. Before I take it off, I'm just gonna measure how big this thing is with this tool. This one's nice because whatever you measure on this side, it's gonna also be the same distance on this side. We've also got this other tool that you can measure, these caliper tools to see. So now you know how big to throw your lid when you're doing it. And you know, I go just a hair less so that there's not, you know, if you do it exact, that lid sometimes is kind of tough to get to sit in there. So now I'll cut this off the wheel.
Makes me think of honey.
So I don't mess up my texture, I'll use these,
Like a honey
these
pot.
pot lifters.
Wow, it's good.
Set that aside.
A dancing pot.
So with that one, because you did the texture like, well, it's so wet still, and then you like press, well, you know, you did the middle part and it went down, like, I mean, that's just like a technique for that
Yeah, I
style,
mean, you could
or
throw
like,
a cylinder and just press it out. I was just showing you an extra thing. You know, it's gonna have a lid on it. So when you're centering a smaller piece of clay, sometimes you're using more just like, almost like a karate chop, just the sides of your hands, because you're not gonna use your whole hand or your whole palm when you're doing it. So before I get too going on it, I'm just gonna kind of eyeball how I need to make this thing. So it's gonna be a little wider. Let's flatten it down a little bit. And just kind of check it as I go. I'm leaving this a little thicker on the bottom, so I have something to trim away later for the lip of it. Okay, now from here, what I'll do is I'm just going to kind of press in a little bit, leaving some still on the outside, so I'm just pressing in on the top to get a little area to bring it in. And from here,
it's gonna be the bottom
The
of
bottom,
the,
yeah, throwing it
Top?
upside down.
okay.
So I like to take something that has like one of these a rib that has like a 90-degree angle on it, and that way we can just cut into it like that. And go slow, like do a little, then check it, do a little, then check it. So I need to go a little further in. And a little bit more. Oh, that's too much. So now I gotta pull it back out. A little further out. And just barely gonna bring it in now. And that's about where I want it. So I'm going to let this set up a little bit, and then I'm going to flip it over, and I'll trim the bottom kind of rounded, a little bit roundish to fit on top of that thing. We did. So we'll get it in the center. So it's touching from there to about there. So the whole thing needs to go that way a little bit. Touching from about there to about there, so it needs to go that way a little more. Now it's touching just about all the way around. So, a few pieces of clay to get it stuck on there. Hold it down when you're putting the clay on it, so don't knock it off the center. Edge on the side, because this is like a taller kind of piece. You know, I got a hand on top, just kind of keep for a little bit of support so I don't knock it off. Foot. And a little on the inside. Kind of flatten it out so it stands level. And now it's upside down. It's a good time to put your name on it. And sometimes everyone's stuff looks the same in the classes, so it is a good idea to put your name on it so you don't end up getting your piece glazed by someone else, which does happen sometimes. Alright, so now we've got the bottom of our vessel trimmed. Looks like that now. So to the side. And now we'll get the top. So yeah, we threw it this way. I'm going to flip it over and trim it. Same sort of thing. Let's test and see. So we're touching from there to about there. The whole thing's going to need to go this way, the direction that it's not touching, so that way it'll be touching all the way around. Pretty much touching all the way around, so I'll get it stuck on the wheel head. Holding it down so I don't knock it off the center where I just got it. It's not really stuck all the way. It's kind of spinning on
Flying
me.
saucer.
It's in part because the clay is actually a little bit dry. It's doing that. And it's not all the way centered, but when it's not spinning, you won't notice. Hopefully. I mean, it doesn't have to be a perfectly round, spinning, centered pot. So it's also going to kind of lighten it up a little too. So you have some big, thick, heavy lid. Alright, now what we'll do is try to find the score tool. Well, I can't find the score tool, so I'll just use the needle tool. And I'm going to score the top of it. And score this piece of clay. And then I'll grab a little bit of slate. Slip from my throw bucket. And here I'm going to put this on as in the middle as I can get it. I'm going to use some more downward kind of pressure. You're not, you know, if I press it on the side, it's just going to push this thing right off. This is what we'll use to get the knob. So pressing down to start with.
So cool.
There's a pretty good size handle on this thing.
Thinking it's gonna be a bolt.
Yeah.
So you can really,
Rather.
yeah, pick this thing up. You know, sometimes people do like these tiny little, like man bun
Yeah.
handles. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, hey, we're just gonna pick it up. You know, like,
Not
be
from
able to
his
actually
handle.
pick this thing up. And give it a swirl. So from here, take this clay off.
It's like a pet.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got our little lidded vessel.
Awesome.